Welcome to Thrive Media. Today, I have the honor of interviewing Revi Menasche.
Hey, you did good.
I'm super excited to get to know more about her. And first of all, I just want to say huge thanks to Chandler Ladd at Peak Media for getting us together. It's, really cool. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Definitely, 100%.
They say that all the time, but so Revi here will be starting a podcast soon, and I have the privilege to interview her prior to.
Yes.
So, like I said, really excited about that and really excited to get to know more about you because you are a boss, babe.
Yes, I am. That's what they call me. Yes, 100%.
I love it. Okay, so tell me, you recently moved to Texas, right?
Yes, I moved here 5 years ago. Actually, in February, it was a very quick move.
Okay.
I lived in Miami for 30 years, came to visit a friend in the Dallas area. I didn't really know her. I met her at a party. My daughter met her daughter at a party. Funny story. And when we came to Dallas for my 50th birthday.
You are not 50.
You're right. I'm going to be 56 next month.
Girl, you look good. You look good. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes. So we met her, and then she's like, "Oh, I have to take you to our small town of Rockwall." And when I came to Rockwall, I fell in love because it kind of gave me that Gilmore Girl vibe.
Yeah.
That downtown area. She took me to a restaurant down there, and we fell in love. And 3 months later, we lived here.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. It was crazy. I listed my house. I moved down, got together with an amazing realtor, came 3 times, visited the schools, visited the areas, really fell in love with it. Love that small town, big town feel.
Yeah.
So, and we just decided to take a leap. And my husband and I came here with no jobs and kind of took a leap of faith.
So you said new jobs.
Yes.
Tell me about that because you own a now very popular
Yes.
company.
Yes, I do. I own the Bagel Lady in Rockwall, but I did not come here for that. So my husband, he was a maintenance manager in Florida. We have a lot of condos. So he handled like 400 unit condos doing maintenance management. And then I was an insurance agent. Yes.
Wow.
So, yes, I came here and I interviewed with a couple, and I don't want to tell who I worked for because I don't know if I'm allowed, but I worked for one of them and then left that one and went to the one that I worked for in Miami.
Okay.
And started that, did very, very well. And I'm Jewish and I moved to Rockwall. And when I came here in one of my visits, I visited a rabbi in the Plano area, and he was totally against me moving here to Rockwall because he's like, there's no Jews in Rockwall. What are you doing living in Rockwall? You need to be in Plano. This is where your people are. And I'm like, no. I
fell in love already.
I fell in love. I went over that lake, got the goosebumpies, and I really wanted to be there. And I'm like, I'm not that religious. I'll drive to Temple. And sure enough, I moved February. We had a holiday in March, and I went to Temple in March, met another amazing family that lives out in Rowlett, and we just celebrated holidays together and our Sabbath together, and it was beautiful. And we fast forward till December and Hanukkah comes. And Hanukkah is one of those Americanized holidays that everybody, even if you're not Jewish, I've never met a Jew in your life, most people know Hanukkah.
Yes.
They may not know all the other holidays, but that one they know. And all of a sudden, the stores in Rockwall started carrying Hanukkah items. And I'm like, what is going on? And I used to manage Victoria's Secret stores back in the day and worked retail. And I'm like, wait a minute, buyers will not buy these things and put them in these areas if there's any buyers, right? So I'm like, there has to be Jews. There has to be. So there is a social media group called the Rockwallian. Most Rockwall people know about it. So I put a post on the Rockwallian saying, hey, where's all my fellow Jews? Because I know they didn't buy all this stuff from me.
Yeah.
And sure enough, all these Jewish people, I'm Jewish, sending me pictures of them in their menorah.
That's so cool.
So I swear to God, it might have been a couple of days later, I got together with that family and we're having Sabbath dinner together. And I said, hey, I want to start a Jewish group for Rockwall. And I started the Jews of Rockwall County. And I got
Awesome.
members, and I called up that rabbi and I said, you lied to me. They are Jews in Rockwell and they're all coming to my house. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, they're coming to my house. You need to be here. Sure enough, he came. I had
Wow.
about 30 or 40 Jews in my house that I met through starting the Jewish group. And I needed to cook for them. And I made them a bagel. And from that journey of making them a bagel and posting that on the Rockwall, and started my journey into the Bagel Lady.
Wow.
Yes, it was crazy. It was absolutely nuts.
That's awesome.
It was absolutely crazy. Didn't expect that to happen, but it's been very spiritual based for me. God has been an influence in this journey for me for a very long time. I didn't open on Saturday until recently because of my Sabbath. I took a business decision, decided to open, but I do not work it. So
There you go.
everybody's like, you're missing out on Saturdays. And
I want my bagels.
I want my bagels. And I held out for 4 years and I decided to open it. And it's been wonderful. And the community has really embraced me and helped me through it.
That is awesome.
Yes.
So, with that, how has the community supported you? I mean, big, small town. I've seen you on the Rockwallian. Whenever Chandler told me, oh, it's the Bagel Lady. I'm like, I've never been there, but I know exactly who she is because of how our community supports. We all support local, and that's so important.
Very, very important. And let me tell you, when I first opened, I had we have a church next door, like at the corner, and my lines were down to the church. People were coming in, and when I first put that post, I had like 635 people like that post. It was crazy. And when I was working from home, I couldn't fulfill it. It was crazy. I was doing like 30 dozen a day. I said, oh, I'm only going to do Saturdays. Oh, I'm only going to do Sunday. And then I'm only going to do Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then it became an everyday thing. And I was doing orders till like 1:00 in the morning, waking up at 3:00 in the morning. It was like amazing, the support. Wow. And mind you, I opened my home cottage license a month before COVID hit. And it was like, oh my God. So the first week COVID came out, it just slowed down. And I'm like, why is it slowing down?
Yeah.
There's no food on the shelves. I'm an essential. I became an essential worker. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm an essential worker.
You need a bagel.
You need a bagel, you need bread. And all of a sudden the orders came right back up.
Oh, wow.
And I had a thing before COVID that everybody who came, I used to take a picture with them, and it became a thing. And moms were really funny. Like, oh, I'm not done up. They send the kids in. My mom says she's not ready for the picture today, so she sent me to take the picture with you.
That's something I would do.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so it was really cute. So I was taking pictures with everybody in the community, and it was beautiful. And then COVID hit, and then nobody wanted to be around. So I used to leave the table outside with the bagels and went through the honor system. Leave me the money under the bag, buy the bag, sell me. I don't know. And I swear to God, after everything opened up, even a month after, I was picking up pots of plants and I found money. I'm like, oh, I didn't even I put 10 bags out. I should get 10. No, I didn't care. It was just like, if you needed it and you didn't pay for it, oh, well, God will bless me a different way. But I was going under planters, mats, and I was finding money after the fact that I'm like, oh my God, there's some money out here.
That's awesome.
It was hysterical. It was really funny. And then that happened until June. And then I'm like, okay, I'm outgrowing my kitchen. I was starting to have Sabbath dinners in my house with this Jewish group. I was having 40, 50 people in my house on Friday nights. And so my house looked like a commercial kitchen between cooking for the Sabbath, between cooking bagels. It just kind of took over. My husband's like, either we're going to move you into the garage or you're going to have to find something. So I went out, called up realtors. Nobody was answering. Everybody was on vacation during COVID. So I went old school and started knocking on doors and went to businesses because people were doing a lot of movement was happening during COVID. Yeah. Right. So either business was staying open, they were remodeling, or they were taking the opportunity of saying, you know what, this is my opportunity to leave. Yeah. Right. So I went knocking on a door where I am today, and he had just opened Rock On Nutrition right by Planet Fitness. And he had Rock Y'all Nutrition
Okay.
by Reach Church. And I'm like, hey, and who's renting the place next door? And he goes, why? What are you looking for? I go, I'm looking for a place for oh, you're the bagel lady. My wife loves your bagels. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And he's like, need to move. Do you want to take this place over? Because I just opened another place. And I'm
Wow.
like, that evening I signed the lease.
Like,
It was
what
that
a blessing. Yeah.
It was.
God
It
just
was.
lined everything up.
It just lined everything up, and that was in June, and we opened August 2nd. So this August, just past, was our 4 years in that location.
Wow.
Yes.
That's so inspiring to up and move and then now have this, great company. You have another company too.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Tell me
yes.
about that.
So unfortunate. It comes with sadness because I am the stepmom to an amazing 2 children, and my husband and I got together going on 17 years. November will be 17 years together. We'll be married 11 in December, and he has 2 children, Jacqueline and Daniel. Danny lives in New Jersey, and his daughter Jackie lived in New York. And our family had a loss. She passed away. So hard. She passed away in May of last year.
I'm so sorry.
May of last year, and it was very sudden. And she passed away, and it just came to a shock to the whole family. It's still very fresh and very hard to talk about. And we dealt with it as a family. And my youngest daughter, Leia, was very close to her sister, because from the time she was 3 years old, she only knew my husband as her father.
Yeah.
And Jackie and Daniel as her brother and sister. And I also have an older son, Ellie, who's 30. And but her and Jackie being the 2 girls, she looked at Jackie like a mom, best friend figure. They used to talk all the time, every night. I mean, they were constantly on the phone. Like stuff that she couldn't talk to me about, she would talk to her big sister about.
Yeah.
So I think as parents, we took it very hard, but my daughter, I think, took it hard in a very different way.
Absolutely.
And she still deals with it. Unfortunately, it's very, she's far away from me. She's in New York studying. And when Jackie passed away, she was a comic and a chef. And during COVID, when comedy stopped, unfortunately, stand-up comedy stopped because of COVID, she went back to her culinary skills. And the last place she worked was in a place by Central Park. It was Michelin rated, 5 diamond star. It was
cool.
So she was a sous chef. But a month before she passed, she actually did an episode on Chopped. And she won, and we were all so proud of her. Like, it was hush hush in the family because we weren't allowed to tell, because if you tell, they don't, they don't pay her, right? So so we kept it on a down low. And when she passed, one of her friends from New York, she used to be friends with, came to the Dallas-Fort Worth area to do comedy, and I saw his post, hey, I'm coming, because I'm friends with some of her friends in comedy, because we, Instagram, you kind of just follow along.
The power of social media.
The power of social media. So when I saw that he was coming, I told my daughter, Leia, he's coming. She goes, oh, Jackie didn't like him. We can't go visit. I go, listen, I need a connection. You either come or you don't come. I need a connection to this man, to her, to some of her, knowing she was part of his life at some point. I don't know. As a stepmom, I just needed a connection. So my husband and I said, we're going. So we bought tickets for her. She came. Some of her friends came. We did a family outing and went to see this gentleman do his comedy. And when I was there, the comedy was great. The host was wonderful. And on the way home, I told my husband, listen, we have this coffee shop. It doesn't get the client base that it needs. It sits there in the night. I close at 2. We're not doing anything with it. How about we do a comedy house at the bagel shop at night? He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, we'll call it Jack's for her, to honor her. He's like, well, sounds like a great idea. I go, her episode is going to air in January. We'll invite some friends. We'll let our friends know. Watch party. And we'll let our friends tell us yay, nay, like kind of get feedback. So we had the watch party. I spoke about it with our friends and family that came, and they all loved the idea. They said absolutely. So I reached out to the venue that I saw her friend perform, and I love the host. His name is Chris Gardner. I've had him plenty of times opening as a host at Jack's Comedy House, and he's like an essential part of my comedy location.
That is awesome.
And he helps me. Him and Esperanza both help me book gigs, and they go out scouting comics for me. And let me tell you, Jack's Comedy House is the place to be Saturday nights.
Okay, I gotta go.
Yes, it's wonderful. Some are clean, most of them are blue, most of them are dirty, but it's just wonderful. Chris Gardner is up and coming. He has a movie on Amazon. Some of the comics that he's brought out have been working with agents now and being picked up. So we've had some great comics come through Jack's, and more coming. Like, he's actually bringing I don't know if you heard, his name is Alex Stein. He has also a YouTube channel. He's very Republican, talks Republican, but he's a comic with politics. So yes, I love that. He's coming this September 7th to our place.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I'm really looking forward. I think that's so up Rockwell's alley, having a Republican comic.
We love going to comedy shows. So my husband and I definitely have to check that out.
Yes, so our coffee shop has converted to a comedy house on Saturday evenings.
That is so amazing.
And we show a video of her. So one of our clients, he's a realtor, but he does like video, and he took clips of her, and he's like, would you give me the honor to do something for you? And he did the intro for the comedy house and showed her episode on Chopped and everything like that. Yes.
That is so cool.
Yes. I'm really like, it fills my heart. It's sometimes I can't show the video because it hurts too hard.
I cannot even imagine.
Yes.
I love that y'all are honoring her.
Yes.
But I cannot imagine.
Yes.
So something that I saw on your website is that you support other female-owned businesses.
Yes.
I love that. Tell me about that.
So with the space that I have for the coffee shop, and even before that, I noticed that first of all, I'm all about girl power. Being a girl boss,
love it.
And I'm one of those, like, I tell my husband what I'm going to do, and 100% he always goes with me because I won't take no for an answer type of thing. I'm like, I'm not asking permission. I'm kind of telling you what I'm doing.
I actually already did it.
I'm actually in my brain. It's already done.
Yeah.
But I feel a lot of women, and the women that I've dealt with, maybe don't get that type of support at home, or they don't know how to start. And when I started the Bagel Lady, I was being reached out by a lot of women saying, how'd you do it? How'd you start?
Yeah.
Can we come have a meeting with you? And I'm like, 100%. Come sit with me.
Yeah.
I've always made time for women to come sit with me in my office, in my dining room, and have coffee with me and ask me any question you want to ask. And I've helped other women, and I've noticed that became a thing. Like, I didn't realize that I was that popular in town. Like, people knew who I was. Like, I would go around, oh my God, you're the Bagel Lady. Oh my God, I didn't know all this was happening until I hear it in the supermarket.
Then you're like,
what is happening here? So then I made a point to shop female. So my t-shirt girl was a girl,
Love that.
And then I started tea lady came, and I'm like, yes, female, great. So she started her tea thing before I started the coffee thing on that side. And then I said, you know what, I can't make everything, let me get pastries. So I pick up pastry from Two Crazy Bakers and Murphy, and I'm like, girl power, great.
That's awesome.
And then I'm like, all these other bakers started reaching out, and I'm like, yes, so girls and girls and girls, and it became a thing where I saw myself supporting more and more women. And so I do that, and I love it, and it's been great. For some, I've been great for others, not so great, because my business may not have been a greatest platform for them, but I'm hoping that I encourage them enough to go forward and to do their own thing. One thing I don't do, and I don't try to do, is bring down women, so I might be hard around the edges. I'm very passionate. I am Israeli and I am New York, and I come off very aggressive at times. Very strong. But trust me, I don't mean it in a very hard way. It just like I grew up with very tough, hard. You know, I was telling you before, I'm Gen X. It's hard. It was like, go out and do it. I'll give you something to cry about. Attitude, you know? And sometimes I come off that way, but it's all love. It's all, I try to nurture in that way. I treat people like they're my kids, and I love them all, and I only want the best for every person out there. But I do have a soft spot for women out there in business, and any woman listening to this, my door is always open. Like if I can help in any way, shape or form, I'm there.
Yeah, that is so incredible. I love that. And you know, a lot of people don't realize, even just like asking a few questions and you know, having like not even brainstorming, but just interviewing someone like you, listening to someone like you, there's so many ideas that, you know, now are going through my head. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I think I'm busy over here. Look at you, girl. But, you know, just empowering me to, you know, want to be better and strive to be better. And I know you mentioned earlier, you know, before we started recording, the lack of knowledge that is available for some people, like especially young girls. You know, you're coming into this world, you want to own a business, but you don't necessarily know about real life because they don't teach you about real life in high school and college. And just, you know, you helping young girls to, you know, get their life in line. There's so much unknown. I mean, whenever you started your first job, whenever that was, did you know what to put on your W-4 form? Or did you just look at it like, I mean, I'm not married. It depends, huh? Like,
exactly.
What?
No, you didn't know. And the thing is, our parents back then didn't teach us either, right? So we kind of learned as we went. And coming from a generation that I came from, we were what they call latchkey kids. We had our key on our neck, right? At 6 years old, I was walking home from school. We had an hour break. My mom was a working mom. She's a hairdresser till today. She's in her 80s. She's still working.
Oh, wow.
So I came with that mindset, always work, always strive. And when I wanted to work, my mom's like, you want to work? Come work, because nothing's for free. And I worked at 12 years old shampooing at her hair salon. I was a shampoo girl. My mom paid me exactly like she paid everybody else, $25 for the day. You work on tips, you know. You want something at the boutique, which she had a little boutique in her salon. You pay for it. Might cost, but you're paying for it. And I'm like, those things I grew up with, right? So it helped me always work, always. It was always hard work. You never just sat there and just waited for handouts. I swear, I can't remember a time where I wasn't working, to be honest with you. I worked even when I gave birth to my daughter. Like, I think I was at the hospital with the baby, and my mom came to me and goes, oh, you need to do the appointment book. I'm like, Mom, I just had a baby. No, work, you know? So it was always that. I was always working. You know, part of me wishes that I didn't have to work as hard, but part of me says, I wouldn't know what to do without working.
I know, you'd be so bored.
I would be so bored. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I went home the other day and painted furniture. My husband's like, what are you doing? I go, I have time on my hands. And my son came home and goes, Mom, is that going to be another business you start now? And I'm like, no, honey, I promise you I won't be doing this. They're so worried when I start something different. They're like, oh, man. Like, here's another business she's going to do.
Oh, somebody slow Mom down. She's going.
She's going. Yes. You know,
I love that. That's
but that's who I am. I'm always constantly doing, reinventing, redoing, and I've reinvented myself so many times. There isn't a job out there that I haven't done. To be honest with you, I've done almost everything.
That is so awesome. That's very admirable. Yeah. If you could give any piece of advice to a young girl, it doesn't even have to be a young girl, but any advice to motivate, you know, any woman that wants to start a business, that wants to do something, what would you say to them?
Take the leap and just do it. Don't overthink it. When you overthink, we talk ourselves out of it. Yep. I don't give myself enough time to overthink and talk myself out of it. Because if I have an idea, I just go. and I deal with the consequences later. I know you're supposed to plan, and I know you need to figure it out financially. And I know, the books say, think about it and write it out and do things like that. But if you believe in it and you have the passion for it, I see a lot of women who are great in baking and cooking and candy making. And so many times people are holding them back. And then they get in their own space.
Yeah.
They get into their own head. Don't listen to the noise. If you have the passion, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to lose money?
Yeah.
You're going to fall? Guess what? God gave you 2 hands and 2 feet. You'll make that money again. You'll make it again. But sitting back saying, I could have and I should have is worse. For me, at least, it's the worst thing. Because I don't want to say, well, I could have and I should have. I'll take the leap of faith. If it works out, great. I'm going to give it 110% anyway. And if it didn't work out, it's not because of me. Okay, it's because of circumstances that were beyond my control. Listen, my business is not doing the greatest today. I will constantly keep reinventing myself.
Exactly.
I went and opened a second location. Didn't work out, 2-year lease, and you know what? It is what it is.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, started the coffee shop, tried it, I'm doing it, it's there, reinvented it to a comedy house. I have empty cases. What am I going to do? People love cookies. Let me go ahead and learn how to make some cookies. This is going viral. Great. I'm going to try it. What's the worst that's going to happen? It doesn't sell. It doesn't do well. On to the next.
Yep.
I'm not just going to allow the world and people beat me down and say, you can't do it. You shouldn't have done it. You know what? I'm going to do it because I never know if it's going to hit or not.
Exactly.
Something might go viral. Something might attract the people. I didn't know a week ago I'll be sitting with you doing this podcast. And this might be another opportunity for me to start doing my own podcast or be on other people's podcasts. Yeah. Don't know what the world has in store for me. Be there with open arms. Accept it. Do it. And Steve Harvey says, take a jump. And just jump. And sometimes the parachute opens and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
You just got to take a leap of faith sometimes in yourself. Have faith in yourself.
Exactly. And so I'm assuming, I don't even have to assume because I already know from just our conversation, you have a very supportive spouse.
Yes.
That's
very.
incredible. And that's, it's so important when doing anything, especially because you're like, I'm laughing right now because it cracks me up. My husband and you're just alike. He just goes and does things and I'm like, I'm all brakes and he's just gas. And I'm over here, I'm like, wait a minute, did you think about this? What about this? And he's like, nope, we're doing this. That's how we're here today.
Yes.
Because, he took a leap of faith and, it, on the flip side, I'm like, the best thing that you can have, especially with somebody who is all gas, who is talented, passionate, is a, supporting spouse that's right there behind you,
100%. He's
actually make or break.
He's actually my greatest cheerleader. Like when I'm not around and I see customers come in, they go, your husband spoke so much about you because he was doing he's in construction and a handyman, so he's in people's houses. Yeah. They said the whole time he was there, he couldn't stop talking about you. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's awesome,
but it was because of him we're here. I'm like, okay, great job, Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he is my greatest cheerleader. And he doesn't stop me because he knows there's no point. I'm going to do it anyways. Like, I'm either going to support her and let her do her thing, or if I just sit back and not support her, she's going to do it anyway, and I'm just going to hear about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm that type of person, and I know not everybody is that person. I know not everybody has that charisma or has a spouse like my husband. Yeah. But you have to really find that, and if you want to do it and you want to see it done, you just have to. I just thought about it because I have this young lady. She was 18, right out of high school. She opened a coffee shop. She was one of the first girls that come to me because I wholesale my bagels. Mm-hmm. She opened Rolling Bean Coffee in Fate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at the food hall. Mm-hmm. High school student, right out of high school. Took the leap of faith and opened a coffee trailer. Her and her mom. And She opened her second location in Caddo Mills.
Oh, wow.
And I swear to God, I look at her and say, there's still kids like that in the world. And I'm so proud of her.
Yes.
Because at 18 years old, out of high school, she's like, college, oh, let me start a business. If it doesn't work out, college will be there, right? Mm-hmm. And she took the leap of faith and did it and had her mom's support. And now she's home with a baby. And because of her taking my wholesale, I said, oh, great idea. Let me do wholesale.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for her and saying, hey, I would love to have your bagels at my place, I wouldn't have thought, let me do wholesale.
Yeah.
And now I have 13 accounts, all women, and all women own coffee shops. And right here next door, Drizzle Coffee, right next door to you, has my bagels too. And I have, most coffee shops in our town. And this girl.
That is...
It's that taking that initiative.
Yes, and you mentioned this generation is so, I don't want to call it broken, but people don't want to put in the work and the effort and hustle. And, college is not for everybody.
It's not.
And my husband said not too long ago, we were talking to my 12-year-old, and he was like, unless you want to be a doctor, lawyer, whatever, there's no reason for you to go to college.
And 100% I agree with him.
I can teach you all the things you need to know business-wise. Just figure out what you want to do. And I mean, he is in HVAC. And so being in a trade, the trades are dying right now. People don't want to work hard.
They don't want to work hard, but because of that, he's able to make a lot more money.
100%.
When you work with your hands, it doesn't matter what country or what state you live, they need you.
Exactly.
So, and those are trade schools. You're in and out within 4 months to 4 years. They're really quick. They're fast, and
you're getting paid while you do it.
You get paid, and you work as an apprentice, right? Plumbers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's really great. Like my daughter's going into fashion, so she's gonna go do that because it's more like a tech thing, right?
That is different.
And like you said, doctors, lawyers, accountants need it. But if you're going to a trade like real estate, 1 week, 2 week course, boom, done. Start making money, right? Insurance agent. That's what I did.
Yeah.
But those make you money right away, but you got to learn to sell. You need to learn how to sell yourself.
Well, yeah, and have that work ethic.
Definitely.
Work ethic is
people
everything.
are not going to come knocking on your door. You need to start knocking on doors.
Exactly. And that's what, raising kids to have work ethic, there's no book about it. It's what they see. Mm-hmm.
It's true.
I don't even know your kids, and I know they're hard workers.
I think I took all that energy from them. No, they are. My daughter is really, really, my kids are. My son is amazing, my daughter. But they're so different from me because the generation's different, right? I look at myself at 20, I was married. I had my own house. I had my own business.
Yeah.
I look at them at 20 and like, oh, they're still living here.
Yeah. Like,
they're still depending on me.
What are you doing?
They're like, what are you doing? And I look at kids today and at 20, they're still trying to figure it out. And our generation was just different.
It is.
20 years old, we were out, we were doing, and I just have to remind myself that, and that's my hardest thing. I think that to me is hard because sometimes I'll look at the kids who work for me and I'm like, do you know what I was doing at your age? And I need to step back and okay, the world's different. The world's different, you know?
But still, you have to work hard. Nothing comes easy.
Nothing.
And your life is either going to go one way or the other depending on how you're steering it and how fast you're going. Because, at the end of the day, only you can make yourself better.
Yes, 100%. 100%. I just feel, and I'm guilty of that. I think because we don't want our kids to work as hard as we did, that we try to make their life easy. But I think we've created a generation where life is too easy for them. And they don't feel like they need to work for it. So now that I need to step back, it's hard because my daughter's, Mom, I'm hungry and I need food. And I'm like, okay, I'll order you food. And then as I'm ordering the food, I'm like, what am I doing?
Go for yourself.
Go to the supermarket. Go get food. What am I doing Instacart right now?
I know.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm still a mom, and I still want to make sure she's fed.
Yes.
But I think we're all guilty. As tough as I was, and as tough as my parents were to me, I think with each generation, we're trying to make it easier and easier, but are we doing the right thing? Are we doing them an injustice by making it easy for them? And that's a question for another podcast.
Right. Oh man, that one. Woo.
Yes, right. Are we like really creating these people that we're complaining about?
Yeah.
We're complaining, but they're only an extension of what we did and how we did it, right?
Exactly.
So I shouldn't sit here and complain because I created it. So bad mom.
I know, right?
Bad mom.
It's too funny. My husband told Kinsey she is great. She's great at basketball. She doesn't want to play basketball. She's out of her tomboy phase. We're all girly and cheerleading. And
You're not allowed to say that phrase anymore.
Oh, I know.
I used it all the time, but yes.
But so now we're all into cheerleading, and he said, I don't care. You're still going to try out for the team. You're still going to play. We're not just going to come home and be lazy every day. There's no reason for that. And whether it's sports, whether it's working on something, with the podcast, we show her, all of the editing tools that we use. I even let her do some stuff for fun for us, just so that she can learn, because I'm like, technology is only getting more advanced. Mm-hmm. To the point where I'm almost like, geez, can I have my Nokia, phone back?
And that's you saying, imagine me.
You're like, can we not have phones?
I call my daughter Instagram. How do I do this? Snapchat? I have no clue.
I
don't even know. I don't even know how to use it. Now TikTok, I'm trying to create for my business TikTok reels, and I'm like, oh my God, what is happening here?
It's all so much. And then she's showing me stuff, and I'm like, you're outschooling me. Like, oh, geez. Well, I'm over here YouTubing how to blah, 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 blah,
yes,
whatever.
Me too. Thank God there's still YouTube videos out there showing me how to do things.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, it has been such a pleasure interviewing you. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Well, you guys be on the lookout for the Bagel Lady, Revi.
Yes.
Her podcast whenever you launch it. I know you said you don't exactly know what you want to talk about, but you don't even have to know what you want to talk about.
We'll see. We'll see what I have to offer to the world. It's going to probably be me and my husband because we're really funny together.
Oh, I love that. Mm-hmm.
My husband and I, we bounce off each other, and people see us shopping, and we go to the supermarket, and they love when we walk in together because everybody says we should have a camera in the house because we just...
Is he this high of energy too?
He is, but he's a little blue, and he has a little. Yes, he's funny, and things get him mad real fast. So that's going to be real fun.
Oh, I love it! I
think I might just find things to trigger him.
Oh, absolutely! Anytime I've done a podcast with Justin, I do the same thing.
I think that will be hysterical. We'll be funny and serious all at the same time. He doesn't know it yet, but he might end up being on my podcast.
Right. There you go.
There you go.
Well, Revi's husband, we're signing you up already.
That's it. Alan, be on the lookout.
Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to next time.
Thank you. Bye.